Jai Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Nama Prabhu Ki Jai. Welcome all of you for the 57th session of Soulful Japa. So, hope you have been filled with delight doing your 16 rounds. Last few days, we have been talking about the important role of tasking delight. First, we discussed about tasking, how tasking is very much part of japa. Moment you say japa, you should not only think of chanting and hearing, but chanting, hearing and tasking. Chanting, hearing is chanting, hearing. When you repeat chanting and hearing in a particular way to finish a fixed number of rounds, then that is called japa. So generally when we think japa means, oh, I have to chant and hear, chant and hear. Then what happens is you neglect and ignore the role of tasking. That is also an offering. You are not simply giving away, 108 chanting and hearing. You are not simply offering 108 loose flowers. 108 flowers you are turning into a garland and you are giving. It has to be tied up. You first, just like the mala is tied up with a thread inside. So in the same way, our chanting and hearing and next chanting and hearing, next chanting and hearing, next chanting and hearing, they're all connected. Your first chanting and hearing gives you energy, for the next chanting and hearing gives you more energy, next chanting and hearing gives you more energy if you are piling one above the other. If you are keeping as isolated, it's a different matter. How do you pile up one above the other? I gave example of the brick, one above the other. As against spreading the bricks, the force on the ground will be n times the brick if it is piled up above. And one gives strength or gives rasa to go on to the next. So our chanting come hearing concurrently. That is when we are on the beat. Then there is a micro gap between the two. There is a thread, a micro gap, represented by the thread, micro gap. You may go very fast from one beat to another beat, but it is a micro gap. In that micro gap, something else in reality is happening. You have achieved one, chanting come Hare Krishna, chanting come hearing. Now you are going to the next, building up one more. And we call this as an accomplishment pleasure. Tasking delight is an accomplishment pleasure. Accomplishment of what? Accomplishment is not plain success. For a new person, for the gardener's example, my gardener, for him, it was a simple sense of success of a work. So similarly, when a person is, let's say, newly initiated or first time you are making him chant Hare Krishna, for him also, it is a sense of success of something that he decided to do. Okay, I will chant one round. He did and he felt a sense of success. So this sense of accomplishment keeps varying from a new bhakta to the pure devotee. But all of them have sense of accomplishment. The emotional flavor of that accomplishment is different for each person. For a neophyte to the pure devotee, but sense of accomplishment is there. For the gardener, it was a plain success of any work. Same success what he felt something else. Someone asked to do something, he completed, he got satisfied. But a pure devotee, it's not that. There's an emotional flavor to that success. We also have an emotional flavor to that success. What is that? We feel a sense of accomplishment in obeying my spiritual master and pleasing him. A sense of accomplishment that each bead I am pleasing Krishna more and more and more. Uninterruptedly, I am giving not one bit of attention, but I am giving bits and bits of continuous attention to the Lord. So there is an offering from my soul of all my soul energies, not for one bead, but for 108 beads I am giving. That means for a devotee, for us, it is not simply sense of accomplishment, but accomplishment of what? Accomplishment of the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. You see, then it's not ordinary success. And are they carried away by that? Yes, they are carried away by that, because they only have ordered, do japa. Not now and then one Hare Krishna you chant. No. Or without japamala you chant. No. Minimum 16 rounds you chant. Sankhya Purvaka. So the emotional flavor of accomplishment rasa is different for a new devotee, different for a person who has got more shraddha, that Lord himself is on my tongue, and therefore I am serving him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he knows the value of this Hare Krishna, value of this activity. This activity is a transcendental activity. The benefit of this is never going to go away. It is eternal benefit. It is accumulating like a eternal bank account. That sense of transcendental accomplishment is felt by the person who is doing mindful and spiritful japa. So, why I am explaining this is because one should not think, oh, this looks like normal success pleasure. As far as brain is concerned, yes, it is success pleasure. But as far as Krishna is concerned, as far as my mind is concerned, no. It is a sense of accomplishment of serving the Lord. Not once, but 108 times. Not 108 times plus, but 16 into 108 times. So therefore, japa means tasking should not be forgotten. Tasking is there. Anyway, tasking anybody does. Japa means moves the mala means is tasking. But delightful tasking you should not forget. One who has understood this, what is the spirit? This is the spirit of doing. Delightful doing. It's the spirit of doing. Okay, so it is called the serving spirit. Delightful doing is serving spirit. And this delightful doing is a bundled up feeling of what? Hristam, heartfully chanting, then ahlada, feeling relish, hearing these names, then feeling hope, pleasure. I explained what is hope, pleasure. Before you get something, you have hope. So hope, pleasure, in this case, what is the hope, pleasure? That I will get the mercy of the Lord. The mercy is in the form of Sat, Chit and Ananda. That comes for our self-purification. And we also explained yesterday, the mercy is not simply for self-purification. Mercy also comes into our real life situation. If you are a devotee of the Nama, the Lord, miracles start happening in your life. You will see mystically Lord is guiding, keep making your material situation also support your devotional service, support your spiritual advancement. All these things do. The devotees start seeing all these things after the holy name comes into their life. So that is also another kind of a inspiration for the devotee, a relationship with the Nama Prabhu. So it's a bundled up feeling. All these bundled up feeling together is called tasking pleasure. Devotees take pleasure in doing japa. Very important. Should take pleasure in doing japa. Taking pleasure means taking delight in chanting, taking relish in hearing, taking hope in the mercy of the Lord, and taking delight in uninterrupted build-up of association of the Nama. That is another thing. Building up the association, building up the association. One bead over, one bead over, one bead over. So all these things, plus I told you, reciprocation taste of the holy name. You're not only pleasing the Nama on your tongue. Lord, whenever you are becoming, if you are serving Him 16 rounds every day, He is part of your life. Just like deities become part of your life, Nama becomes part of your life. So He is aware what is happening to you, what are difficulties you're going through. You don't have to pray anything specific, but you will see automatically these things are all taken care. Because the same Nama Prabhu is sitting in your heart. When He is not on your tongue, He is seated in your heart as Paramatma. No? So He knows everything. So He takes care of the devotees. So that can be observed by devotees. Real life. See, bhakti is not merely sentiments. It is not just a make-up in your mind. He is not an imaginary person. He is a real person, but you cannot see him. He is transcendental. He is Satchidananda. But he is a real person. Avatara means he is a real person. He is more real than all of us. We are all unreal. These bodies we live and go. We are all unreal. At least our present personality is unreal. Soul is real, but our present personality is unreal. But Krishna is real. The Avatara is real. So when He is real, then He is involved in real activities. In real world activities. In spreading Krishna consciousness. So that the devotee starts developing a relationship. Real life reciprocatory relationship of Lord's protection, Lord's care, Lord's kindness, etc. can be experienced by the devotee. It is not that, the Lord will relate with you only when you go to Vaikuntha. Lord will relate with you only when you become a pure chanter. No. Ye yathamam prapadyante tamstate bhajam. As you surrender, I reciprocate. Krishna says, which way you approach me, as you approach me, I will also reciprocate. I will respond. So in the same way, if you chant with delight, if you chant with Hrishtam, Ahlada, Apeksha, hope, and Utsaha, to build up one over the other, more and more, I want to please Krishna, more and more I want to please Krishna, I want to Prabhupada, Guru and Krishna. So if you chant with tasking pleasure of these things, delight. What does Krishna say? As you approach me, I reciprocate. Then Krishna will inject in our heart a super delightful energy. Remember this, a super delightful energy. So you are giving X amount of delight. Krishna is infusing a super delight in your heart. So ultimately what you experience is a transcendental delight. It is not only the delight that you gave. Just think of it simply, if you delightfully receive somebody, he is also delightful, no? If you are morose with him, then he will all be morose. If you are chanting in a burdensome, I had to finish my 16th round. Why should Krishna show delight? No, irrespective, I cannot artificially take delight and all. Krishna should delight me. That day should come when Krishna will delight me. Hey, what is this? It's a mutual relationship. If you are not delighted with him, why he should be delighted with you? If you are not delighted with his presence, why should he be delighted? He will wait. He will wait. So he will give a according to how we are. So if we delightfully or we do japa with taking pleasure in chanting, hearing and tasking, taking pleasure. Somebody may taking pleasure, then Krishna will reciprocate. Krishna is a master of all energies. He will put one drop of the super delight energy in our heart. We will not want to stop even japa. Go on and on and on, we want it. Already we are feeling that small delight. As soon as you do concurrent chanting, come hearing, he places. You get that delight. That is your attention is locked up. Plus, if you get this delight from Krishna, to get this delight from Krishna, you have to be delightful here. You have to delightfully build up one above the other. I want continuously to build up one above the other. I want continuous japa. I want your continuous association. Give that delight. You will see what delight you will experience. It's not what you give, tenfold delight you will experience. Then you get addicted to this tasking delight. This is not a mental, it is not a material delight afterwards. When Krishna reciprocates and Krishna puts that delight in our heart, it's a transcendental delight. You can experience all this, you can experience. This doesn't require becoming a pure devotee, becoming pure, your mind should become completely pure. All these things are not required. At this stage itself, Nama Prabhu reciprocates with us by giving us this delight in serving him. It's a delight of it is that Kriya Karya Chesta Ruchi multiplied 10 times, 100 times. Put up the slide. First put the other one. This is the only slide. This one. Put that. So just see, for you to revise, taking pleasure in japa. Okay. Foreground mind is busy. Full attention, chanting come hearing, chanting come hearing, chanting come hearing, right? Now, there are two activities you are doing. Foreground mind is chanting, hearing, then it is tasking also. It's going to next beat is also foreground mind is doing all this. Background mind is going to give support. When you chant, there is Rishtam. You chant from your heart. You like to chant. What is Rishtam? I like to chant. I like to chant. That feeling, I like to chant. I like to chant Hare Krishna and Rama. These three names are very, very dear to me. They are life and soul for me. Hare Krishna and Rama. I like to chant. Anytime I like to chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I like to chant. I like to chant. Why you like to chant? We have discussed so much. I am not talking to a stranger that you should like to chant. The value of chanting, holy name is Krishna himself. He is incarnated, he is most compassionate. And this is welcoming that Lord. I like to chant, I like to welcome. The most important person in the existence, I like to welcome him. Hearing relish, Ahlad. Oh, not only I like to chant, any time Hare and Krishna and Rama, my mind will catch. I want to hear, I like to hear. Why? Because it's the ocean of Satchidananda, it's the ocean of love, ocean of compassion, ocean of pure knowledge. The Surya of Satchidananda. Who would not like to associate with the Surya of Satchidananda? Who would not? What is the way to attend? Give attention and touch. Touch him with the attention. Touch the Satchidananda, Shakti Aveshanama with your attention. The Aprakratanama is so kind and merciful that he comes on the Shabda that I chant and makes it Shakti Aveshanama, which I can hear and touch him. touch both Prakrita Nama and Shakti Avashanama. Through Shakti Avashanama, I can touch him also, because he has taken a sound form that resembles this sound form on my tongue. All that we have discussed a lot. That is the meaning of this Shakti Avashanama. So, Ahlad, hope, mercy. What all God can give us. Is there any end to it? If He wants to give, there is no end to it. We are talking about God who is the inexhaustible owner of everything. Sarvaloka Mahesharam Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. We are talking about that Supreme Bhagavan who is Sarva Karna Karnam. So can there be any greater hope in life than hoping things from Him? Hoping merciful, costless mercy from Him? I am a tiny soul. I need little Sat, little Chit, little Ananda. Just like a glass of water can only fit one glass of quantity of one glass. An ocean can fit how much water? Unlimited. A boundaryless ocean, can you think of? That is the ocean of Satchidananda of Krishna. We are tiny. So Krishna knows what my little glass needs. I will feel completely full. He will always keep me completely full. What Satchidananda is required. Kripa Apeksha. So therefore you are always anticipating. My Lord, everything that I have is your mercy. Kripa Apeksha. Apeksha. And why do you hope for that? Because I know, I have faith and I know that He is very compassionate. And I know that He reciprocates. So that is hope. Then tasking delight. Tasking delight is meant for what? Don't forget, you should become expert in all these things. Tasking delight is for more. For building up, more and more. Somebody asked me a question, greedy. How can you be greedy? Yes, all the Shastras, all the Goswamis say that unless you are greedy for Krishna, you will not get Krishna. Someday you have to develop that laulyam. That means so much greedy we should become to see Krishna. So much greedy to hear the transcendental Nama. That greed will purify us of all the greed in this material world. Our mind will be fully, this devotee's mind is full of greed. Full of greed. Is greed, transcendental greed. For experiencing Krishna. He is greedy to wake up his spiritual senses and experience Krishna, see Krishna, hear Krishna, be with Krishna, go to the spiritual world. And when I am in this world, again I am greedy for my service. Greedy, I want to do more and more. Just like how Srila Prabhupada was greedy for the service. He wanted to spread the holy name. He wanted movement all over the world. If one did not have that kind of a enthusiasm, what could have? Nothing could have happened. Transcendental Utsaha. Prabhupada had that Utsaha. He showed us that Utsaha. So that Utsaha starts with the beads. More. Utsaha, you will not have Utsaha. If hope is not there, you will not have Utsaha. Will you have any enthusiasm in doing something if there is no hope? If you become hopeless? Can you do anything in life if you become hopeless? Nothing. And here there is a real hope. What is the real hope? Real hope is a mercy from the Lord. So this is the meaning of taking pleasure in japa. That is a spiritful japa. Mindful japa is when you give serving attention. Now in spiritful japa, you give serving spirit. In what spirit you are chanting and hearing? In what spirit you are completing your rounds? In what spirit you are doing 16 rounds? Spiritful japa. You take japamala, the spirit should come. What is the spirit? Rishtam, ahlad, utsaha. And so this is a very fundamental 4 components of tasking pleasure. Next one. Now I explain to you. You are the chanter. You are giving delight. Nama Prabhu also puts. It's like a cooking something. He also puts something there. What does he put? Super delight energy he puts there. And then, see, if I delightfully welcome you, you will also be delightful. Finally, what happens? Both of us share the total delight. Just like I love you, you love me. We both experience the combined love. Yes or no? Similarly, I give my delight. I give my transcendental pleasure. The Lord is pleased. He puts an energy into my heart, and finally I taste super delight, transcendental delight. So therefore, don't think that when you are chanting, you are giving X amount of delight, but what you are experiencing is not X amount of what you give, but you are experiencing X times that, as decided by Nama Prabhu. So there is a reciprocation of delight. You see? Because otherwise somebody will think, you may think, what is the point? I am delightfully doing that. Nothing is happening from him. What is there? I don't know how long I'll go on delightfully. No, you will see that there is a reciprocation. Is not only your delight, from somewhere your delightness is amplifying. You just wanted to give delight. He will give 10 times. Just like Prabhupada says, you take 1 step towards Krishna, Krishna take 10 steps. So there is another thing very important. Please anticipate this delight. This is one of the hopes, one of the anticipation, one of the kripa apeksha. Please give me the taste to serve you, because this is a taste to serve you. I am not asking you to give me the taste to touch you. I am not qualified. I will chant Shakti Avesha Nama, Aprakata Nama. I am not awakened. I am not asking to give me that Namaruchi right now. My Guru has told me what is my stage of my chanting. I am not asking now Namaruchi, but I am asking. Please give me the pleasure of serving you. This is called the pleasure of doing and knowing. Pleasure of doing, knowing, tasking, doing, knowing, tasking, doing, knowing, tasking. Builds up. So we should chant with transcendental delight. Okay. So that is one thing. Then, these are some of the things that we discussed all along. In other words, what is this super? What is finally transcendental delight? Transcendental delight is nothing but your amplified Kriya Karya Chesta Ruchi. There is a Chesta Ruchi of Kriya. What is a Kriya Chesta Ruchi? Your Atma Chesta of concurrent chanting and hearing. Kriya Jnana Chesta, that Ruchi. Kriya Jnana Chesta Ruchi. That is the beginning. First Ruchi we talked about. That there is a energy that comes, there is a pleasant energy that comes when you chant and hear concurrently on each back. Chant and hear that very chant, there is a kind of a ruchi there that comes into our heart. a pleasant energy which you want to do again and again and again. Now, then we talked about, introduced, there is a Karya Chesta Ruchi. Karya means doing a work. A chesta, a Karya requires a sadhya, an achievement, what I want to achieve. So in tasking, very important is to have a goal. So then you, Karya Chesti Ruchi. So there is that transcendental taste already enhanced by the Lord, Kriya, Jnana, Chesta, Ruchi of individual chanting come hearing is amplified by the Lord, which makes you hold your attention. Now, Kriya Ruchi also is amplified by the Lord. You give Kriya Chesta Ruchi, take pleasure in wanting more and more, Krishna will multiply that wanting more and more. What more we need to do our japa? In our life, every day we get 2 hours of pleasure, transcendental delight, not ordinary delight, transcendental delight. We all want a sense of achievement. Every day our brain is always thinking, do something and achieve something. Here, 2 hours continuously we are achieving 16 rounds. So it's amplified Divya Chesta Ruchi. It is amplified Divya Karya Chesta Ruchi. Karya Chesta, Jnana Chesta, Kriya Chesta, all of them put together, let us say it is a Chesta of Japa. So Divya Chesta Ruchi is what you give, amplified by the Lord. You give, but you experience a multiplied, amplified Chesta Ruchi. What we are talking is all experienceable, very much experienceable. Sometimes that Chesta Ruchi is so much you will have, your eyes become wet. Nama Prabhu is so merciful. So, now I will introduce one more point now. What is that? Serving intention and desire. We had serving spirit. We understood what is serving spirit. Serving spirit is equal to chanting delight, hearing relish, hope for mercy, taste, and tasking pleasure. This is called the serving spirit. The spirit with which you chant and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There is something which you are already doing, but I did not introduce because so many elements are there. You had a desire. There is a desire also. Without desire, you wouldn't even be chanting, no? But so far, I never introduced that word called desire. Asha, I never introduced. Once I tried to tell during the japa practice that think that this is an offering unto the Lord. That also I didn't want I wanted you to focus on chanting and hearing training. This understanding these components is very important. Why? Because just like you see, you are already tasking all these years. I pointed out that you are tasking, but you are not giving tasking pleasure, a bona fide pleasure. You are not giving. So you improved your tasking. Correct? You improved your tasking. You already knew tasking. Similarly, when you are doing japa, you already know you have a desire. Now I will define what is that desire. The desire of japa. First, desire, intention, action as an intention. An action desire. That means out of this action, what do I desire? So when it is about a desire about an action, that is called intention. Yeah, what is the intention behind doing that? Oh, he has an intention behind that. That means at the end of that activity, something he is expecting. Intention. So first is action desire. What is the action desire? What is the intention of the action? Attention connection and attention embrace. That means when I am doing japa, behind me I have an intention for that action. Why I am doing this action? So that I can connect myself with the Shakti Aveshanama. Okay, that is action intention. What is a personal desire? That is the desire of what the action should deliver. But what is a personal desire in chanting? Personal desire in chanting is to see that the Nama Prabhu is pleased. Which Nama Prabhu is pleased? The currently manifesting Nama Prabhu. That means again your attention does not go away from the present Nama. Your chanting is doing of that Nama, knowing, hearing is of that Nama. Your desire is also to please that Nama. So it's not that you are trying to please somebody who is somewhere in Goloka Vrindavan. You are trying to please somebody who has come right in front of you, who is right present there. And the Shastra says he is receiving the services. What services you offer to Shakti Aveshanama is received by the Aprakrita Nama, transcendental Lord who is non-different from Krishna. Krishna himself is receiving your chanting and hearing and attention and devotion and faith and all these soul energies that you are giving, delight, all these things is received by the Lord. This is the Shastra says, I cannot see all this. If you give me a feast in your house, I will take and you will see I am pleased. Oh, I am pleased. But here you need Shraddha that he is pleased. Shraddha is equal to reality, is actual reality. When a person who has for Shraddha, he has Shraddha in what? Shraddha in the statement of Prabhupada and Krishna in the Shastra, that I am pleased if you chant and hear my name soulfully. I am pleased with you if you chant my name even once. I am pleased with you if you chant mindlessly also. I am pleased with you more if you chant mindfully also. I am pleased with you even more if you chant with spirit, spiritful chanting you do. I am even more pleased with you if you do soulful japa. Krishna is a person, no? So according to you, okay, at least you are chanting mindlessly, you are chanting 16 rounds. At least you have some devotion that I have to follow Guru's order. I am happy. This soulful japa is not to tell something is wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong. Chanting God's name is never wrong. Always will benefit. Unless one is consciously misusing, that's a different matter. As long as one is innocent, inattentive chanting will lead him one day to mindful chanting. Mindful chanting. So the advantage of knowing these things is once you know, then you know whether I am giving the desire properly or not. Just like you knew, if you did not know about tasking, you wouldn't be finishing even one mala. That meant tasking you already knew. But now you're going into it and you're finding out, yes, tasking, I should take pleasure in tasking. And what is that pleasure in tasking? What is that? What happens during tasking? Why I am doing 108 times? Why not I do, one round 16 times a day? Why should I sit in one shot and I should do? So now come to serving desire. So desire is there for what? To touch, to embrace, to please the Nama. By continuous embrace means what? Continuous tasking. Uninterrupted tasking. So finally, spiritful japa means, now come back to attention. Earlier I had introduced the word called serving attention. Somebody asked this question, what is serving attention and attention? At that time I cannot answer so well. What is serving attention? When there is an attention with a serving spirit and a serving desire to please the Nama. When attention is offered like that, it is called serving attention. So japa not only is to be done with attention, but you have to do it with serving attention, which means the serving spirit and the serving desire to please each Nama. Again, big clue. Generally don't space out. Somewhere Nama Prabhu is there, he is pleased. He is pleased. Somewhere is there, I am chanting to please him. No, where is the person? You see, God has come before you and you are saying that, let's say I come before you in your house, then instead of pleasing me, you are saying, oh, I want to please Madhu Pandit Prabhu. He is in Hare Krishna. I want to please him. He is in Hare Krishna. I come before you, please me. The same way, the Lord will say, why you are thinking I come before you? Where am I? Each shabda on the tongue, right there, you please feel my presence. I am there to take your service, to consume your service. Bhava Grahi Janardana. Whatever bhava you have, I am receiving it. The bhava to serve the spiritual master. You don't know anything about Aprakrita Nama, doesn't matter. You want to serve what Guru told, 16 rounds, no problem. That bhava is enough for me. I will take it, whatever you are doing. I will enlighten you. I will awaken you. I will explain to you. I will make you understand what is the Nama Avatara. So you can develop transcendental faith in my presence. Beyond the Shakti Avasya Nama on the tongue. I will give you that. I will infuse all those things. So japa is a relationship with the Lord, where many things come from the Lord as we proceed. So this serving intention is called Ichcha, Sankalpa, Asha. All our common words in Hindi, in English, in our Sanskrit, all Indian language. Ichcha, Sankalpa. Sankalpa could mean determination also. Sankalpa could mean making up a desire. Just like I make a Sankalpa that I will sit and do 16 rounds now. It's a Sankalpa. It's an Asha. And what is the Asha in that Sankalpa? In that Sankalpa, the Asha is to please each Nama who is manifesting. And I want to please means whether I think he is pleased or not. Whether he is pleased or not. If I am chanting, he is pleased anyway. So why should I know he is pleased? No, if you're serving, you want to feel his pleasure. I did it. I did give him one pleasure. One bit of pleasure I gave him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more. I am not concocting all these things. These are all just simply faith in the words of what the scriptures have said. Okay. So, serving desires, serving spirit, and serving attention for chanting, come hearing, and tasking. It will naturally totally lock up the attention. In mindful japa itself, by virtue of training, it is locked up. Now, in spiritful japa, by virtue of rasa, it is locked up. But I don't want, the whole idea is I don't want to lose connection with the Nama Prabhu. So, there is a quote also. That file you have taken? No. Okay, Prabhupada says in Krishna book, in preface, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'll read, it's only one line. The art of focusing one's attention on the Supreme and giving one's love to Him is called Krishna consciousness. The art of focusing one's attention. See, attention is so important. Attention is your spiritual energy. How many times we have to go on telling these things again and again to ourselves? Because I am lost in this world. I am lost in this world. Everywhere I see matter, I see body, I know. And Krishna says, I want you. Where is the spirit? I do not know what to give. Because I think I am this body. And Krishna wants a spirit. Attention is spirit. Attention. So valuable. Even Krishna cares for your attention. The Supreme Personality cares for your attention. Because attention, giving attention is connected to devotion. Giving attention is connected to interest. You have interest in Krishna. Where you have interest, you will give. Where you have intention, you will give. Where your desire is, you will give attention. Is it not? Therefore, attention, Krishna cares for the attention. Devotion is nothing but keeping the attention. Devotedly keeping the attention is called devotion. Unless you give attention, where is the question of giving love? There is no question of giving love. Attention, give attention means you have to give love. You have to give love means you have to give attention. So, we have now come so far in our japa training. We have now understood what is serving attention, not ordinary attention. Serving attention means attention with serving spirit, attention with serving desire. Serving spirit is take pleasure and do, know and chant, and do, know and task. And serving desire is bead after bead, mantra after mantra. The mantra is a personality. Mantra after mantra, he is pleased. I am pleasing Nama Prabhu. Who is Nama Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Shabda Rupa is called Nama Prabhu. That is represented by one bead. He is a savior whom you are serving. With the seva of concurrent chanting, come hearing and uninterrupted tasking. This is a seva to the Nama Prabhu. So he is pleased. So somebody is before you and you do something that pleases him. Should you not take pleasure? Should you not feel happy? Should you not, with heart please him? So our attention is getting new wings. Plain attention became concurrent attention. Then it became spiritful attention with both desires. Loaded attention it is. Loaded attention. And finally, Krishna wants that next, loaded with faith. That's all we are going to do, Soulful Japa. Loaded with faith. Loaded with devotion. Loaded with so many different feelings. Love, respect, surrender, gratitude. Our attention will get loaded with all these feelings. Sadbhavana Japa. Sadbhavana means transcendental bhavana. Sad means eternal bhavana, eternal thought feelings, which will still not disturb your foreground chanting and hearing. Don't become. See, this is very important. Right from beginning, I have set the foundations. I didn't set the foundation. Prabhupada set the foundation out of that quote that where Prabhupada told about background knowledge and devotional service is performed in the background of transcendental knowledge and detachment from matter, material association. From that, I started analyzing what is Prabhupada saying, what is background and what is foreground. Then I came up, just by observing, I came up with, Prabhupada's mercy. What is this? Foreground mind and background mind. Foreground mind is executing mind, background mind is the feeling mind. I was telling this to one theology professor. So he was telling, oh my God, this is psychology also is there in this. And I went into psychology of mind. There also there is no, within the conscious mind, there's foreground and background. What Prabhupada has told, you don't find in psychology books also. But very easily, as a matter of fact, Prabhupada is talking about it. You have to do devotional service. That means, devotional service means activity. In the background of transcendental knowledge, background of transcendental feelings, background of feelings of detachment from matter. From that, I connected this to, and it's a very, very key realization where it is helping us, because we know there are two components. Otherwise, we'll get confused. How to train my mind? Now I tell about now chanting and hearing. You should concurrently chant and hear. And also now you should give the feeling of tasking delight. Then suddenly you will ask this question, no, when I'm giving the feeling, I'm disturbing my chanting. But now I've told, don't disturb. That is the foreground mind. That is the active mind. There is another feeling mind behind. Executing mind and a background mind, which gives meaning, feeling, intent, purposes. They're all there. Both put together, somebody's activity is meaningful. So we covered that also, serving desire. I have talked about the serving desire in I'm sorry, some of you have been going into the modules and reading today morning. Little module 31, I shifted to 30, 32 because some order was more appropriate, some confusion. And you please read the module number 33, you should read. It is about the serving desire. Now let me quickly go through. Yesterday I already mentioned it. In order to know something positive, to identify it and to maintain it, sometimes it's good to know what is a negative. Spiritful japa. What are the other kinds of japa which is not spiritful? Quickly I'll tell you. One is burdensome japa. This is in module 32. And the other one is in module, serving desire is the next module, 33. So 32, see there I mentioned burdensome japa. Good to know, because we have all done that. Oh, somehow I did not finish my rounds. It's already 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the night, but I had to finish. I have to finish. Somehow we take the japa mala. Burdensome japa. So, any work you can do, either as a pleasure or as a burden, to be done somehow I have to do it. So, when you don't even take any drop of tasking delight, okay, and it becomes very difficult. You feel that lot of mental energy is going in finishing your 16 rounds. Why? Ye etamam prapadyante tam sate bhajamiham. What you offer, he reciprocates. He is very personal. Krishna is very personal. Then next is mechanical japa. You can do as a mechanical. Example is what? Like brushing the teeth, no? Nobody brushes teeth soulfully, spiritfully, mindfully. It doesn't require. You can do it mindlessly. So sometimes we do japa almost on like that. Something is better than nothing. That's why whenever I am teaching this subject, I never discourage people that is wrong, that is wrong, that is right and wrong paradigm issue. come out of it. That's not the best, please. Then people will get scared. I'm doing wrong, I'm doing wrong, I'm doing wrong. Arey, you're chanting God's name with the intention to chant His name. It is never wrong, whichever way you do. There's something right and something great, something good about it, and Krishna will take that little good that you have given. Now, after learning about soulful japa, spiritful japa, mindful japa, don't go and tell somebody, hey, you're doing wrongly. No. You were in the same boat before hearing this. I was in the same boat before Prabhupada gave me this mercy. Only I wished somebody was very compassionate and came and told us, hey, come on, quickly take this up. Now Prabhupada is giving you all this in the form of this sessions. Take it up. So then, what is the other kind of japa? Fruitive japa. Fruitive japa is what? In the material world, everybody is acting. If I act, what is there in it for me? Materially. Otherwise, the person doesn't work. Everybody is fruitive worker. When I plan some action, at the end of it, I want some fruit for myself. Wanting the fruit is nothing wrong. You cannot work, you cannot task at all without a goal. Sadhya is required. Even in spiritual life, sadhya is required. But sadhya is what? Something for me to enjoy? No, for giving pleasure to Guru and Krishna. So that is the sadhya here. So fruitive thing means for some material fruits. The attitude to create a fruit, at the end of it, I am doing japa, so that if I do japa, I will get a lot of punya. If I get punya, I will become rich. If I get punya, my sufferings will reduce. If you think like that and do japa, then that is, the bhavana is wrong, it is fruitive japa. You're foolish. Why do you have to think of that? When the holy name will give you everything without asking all the punya, it's a fact, it is there. Just like if you go and tell somebody, look, I want to be your servant. To a big man you go, you're a poor fellow. You say, I want to be your servant. He'll be very thrilled, okay, come on, do service. Then you will ask, will you ever ask him, will you assure me food every day? You're a stupid man if you ask such things. Similarly, devotees don't do japa for any fruits. You are having God Himself on the tongue and you are serving God Himself. Why do you insult Him by thinking that He doesn't know what you want? Oh, I have to remind Him. My prayer means I have to remind Him, because He may miss out if I don't tell Him. What kind of faith is that in Krishna? Therefore, don't ask Him anything. Don't ask Him anything doesn't mean He won't give you anything. This is another fear. People say, if I don't ask, hey, what is this? If I don't ask anything, then what am I doing all this for? No. We are dependent. Krishna will give. Krishna only gives everything. We know that Krishna gives. We don't ask Him, and we seek His protection, but we don't ask specific protection. We seek His kripa. Even the devotees think that the Lord is maintaining me by giving me food, prasadam every day. Okay. So fruitive japa is wrong. Enjoying japa. Now this is another enjoying japa. Because in the material world, everything we do for sense enjoyment. My senses should enjoy. Of course, here we are teaching how the soul should enjoy. That is a different thing. Soul enjoying is by giving pleasure to the Lord. But if you think senses should enjoy, that means now I'll chant. I heard that this Nama Ruchi is there in it. I want to taste that. No, what? How can you taste that now? Don't do that. God's name cannot be tasted with material tongue or ear. Now you can taste delight. You can taste super delight. You can taste Chesta Ruchi. Divya Chesta Ruchi you can. That is realistic. Please taste that and go on. That itself is a big test. So falsely thinking. So enjoying mood. I shall extract, I shall pleasure for my tongue from the chanting. No, this is a science of Krishna consciousness, science of japa is there behind it. Now your tongue and ears and all cannot get that taste. This is materials. But you can get delight, you can get spiritual delight. Sense taste you don't get, mind delight you will get. So that intrinsic sweetness of nama, don't try prematurely. We know that intrinsic sweetness of nama, only Krishna has to give you. Then forced japa. One may circumstantially be forced to work to ward off some unfavorable situation, just like children. Hey, if you don't feed now, you cannot take prasadam. This is called forced japa. There is no point in that. Then there is something called very common is intermittent japa. What is that? Prabhu, I chanted 1 month, then I stopped. Then again I started. Again some disturbance came, again I stopped. No. Japa has to be a daily seva. Just like you feed your stomach every day, you have to feed your soul also every day. Harinama is a food for your soul. Unless you feed your soul, unless you feed your body, you cannot stand up. Unless you feed your soul, you cannot stand up spiritually. Unless you feed your soul, your mind won't have energy. Unless you feed your soul, you don't have spiritual energy. So, therefore, every day, japa means every day become part of our life. Not that he has become part of our life, we have become part of his life. Nama avatara. Then, so therefore, a person who has progressed in japa will never do spiritlessly. He is finished in his life with burdensome japa, mechanical japa, fruitive japa, enjoying japa, forced japa, and intermittent japa. He got mindless, spiritful, soulful japa. Okay? So, now we'll do our one round. Somebody should have reminded me about that. Okay, no problem. Namo Vishnupadaaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari.
The process is that you chant Hare Krishna and exactly the same sound you hear. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Say something. Chant with delight. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Simply hear. When we hear Hare Krishna, you try to hear the very sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Take tasking pleasure. One after the other, one after the other. Build up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Simply chant Hare Krishna, try to hear the sound.
Take micro delight between the two beats. Take micro delight. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. It's only a feeling, no thinking. Feeling of delight. It's an impulse. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. When you chant, you must hear also. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. While chanting, you must hear. Hare Krishna, you must give attention to hear. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare. As soon as you chant Hare Krishna, you hear it, then your mind becomes locked up. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare.
We will take up questions tomorrow. There is no time today. Already we are 12 cross 12:15. Thank you very much. Jai Shila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Nama Prabhu ki Jai.